We're going to return to one of our top stories now, the stabbing that's taken place in Johannesburg. Police are searching for a Grade 11 Forest High learner who's believed to have stabbed a learner to death. The police are briefing the media now. Let's cross there.
It's some of the things that we don't want to look forward to, but unfortunately we have to handle them. If there is something that I dislike about my portfolio, is to come and say things that I have to say to parents because their children have passed on. I received a call, I think just after lunch, that around midday, learners were writing their half-year examinations. And when they were writing their half-year examination, the first session ended and they were preparing for the second session. During that period, when they have to prepare for the second session, 3 of our learners were attacked. One, the deceased, died on the scene, and 2 were rushed to hospital. We are told that they are not in a bad situation.
They're fine, yes.
They are fine. And the 3 of them, unfortunately, which is the sad part, the 3 of them were not scheduled to be at school. They were not writing, and normally when learners are not writing, they're not at school. The perpetrator is the one that was writing, isn't it, grade 18?
Yes, the grade 11 learner, yes.
Yeah. Is the one that was writing, and we are told that this might be a game-related activity because things started over the weekend or last week Friday.
That's right.
And they were carried over to today, and that's when this unfortunate incident happened. You can see next to the body of the deceased, there were weapons there, so it's quite clear that there was an intention to attack as well, but that's the part that will leave to the police to investigate and attend to. What we have established thus far is that unfortunately the perpetrator provided the school with the wrong home address. And when the police went to the address that we have in our books, we established that it's the wrong address. But the family is assisting, is cooperating with us. They've taken the police to where they suspect it is his hideout, and we are quite convinced that the police will do their work and arrest that particular individual. From the side of the education, unfortunately, we can't allow education to proceed, so we've suspended classes immediately. We've asked the principal to communicate with the parents. We've quarantined the school for the next 48 hours to allow us to really provide all the relevant support that is needed to those that witnessed the stabbings and those that are friends or close friends of the deceased. So for the next 48 hours, we felt let's quarantine the school and allow the police and our psychosocial workers to provide that kind of assistance. We are indeed shattered. We find ourselves dishing out death certificates now rather than the matric certificate. We find ourselves consoling parents rather than congratulating them because their children have performed very well. But that's the situation that we want to prioritize. We've got almost 18 schools of this nature where we really believe that both society and institutions that are working within the schooling environment, especially our taxi drivers and people that are rendering transport, that we need to urgently meet with them to ensure that we established order in our schools. The principal took me through some of the challenges of the school where learners are seen at the corner shops, and when the parents go and confront them, they're not cooperating. But some of the taxi drivers, people that are transporting our learners, they come here, play loud music, waiting for learners. and that in some instances, after they've dropped the learners in the morning, they don't even leave, and sometimes they're in the company of our learners. So it's a situation that we'll attend to immediately, and it's a situation that we'll deal with it and ensure that the law enforcement agencies and everyone assist us to attend to this matter. But I want to extend my sincere condolences to the family, the relatives and friends, and as a department we'll work closely with them and carry them through this trying time and ensure that at all times they can feel our comfort, they can feel our care, and they can also feel our support until Daniel, is the name of the deceased, is taken to his final resting place. I want to leave it there, and if you have issues, I'm ready to attend to those issues. Steve will give you the ages and of everyone so that you can have the correct age.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do we have questions?
Yeah.
Okay, Yoli?
Clarify something. Does the school suspended for 48 hours?
Yeah, the school, they're supposed to write examinations.
That's right.
They are field examinations. As I said, we've taken a conscious decision just to quarantine the school for the next 48 hours. The reason is very simple. When you write exams, you have to be at your best. So if learners have witnessed this, they are reading this all over social networks and other things, we need to bring them back to their original minds. And we really believe between now and the next 48 hours, our psychosocial support system will then assist in stabilizing them so that they are ready to write the examination. You must know that senior students, these exams are very important to them because they use them to apply for bursaries, to apply for high school, higher education institutions. So we don't want them to say we didn't perform well purely because of this incident. And that's the reason why the next 48 hours we felt let's give all the learners the necessary support that they need.
Okay.
Welcome back. Are you concerned about violence in the schools? I mean, let's say that this is possibly gang-related. Are you making inroads in that area of schools? Because it's quite concerning, like you said, you want to hand out certificates, don't want to hand out certificates.
Well, ironically, we are doing very well in that space. It's just that when incidents of this nature occur, you have no choice but to reflect on your strategies. We've got a very strong unit that traces gangs. We've got a very strong unit that makes searches. I mean, the principal confirmed that we have made several body searches of learners in the schools. We have a very strong linkage between the police and the school. I mean, there is a police person that is specifically assigned to the school and interact with the school. So all the schools that we have identified they have problems, we have assigned a police, we have assigned a police station, we do body searches, we put them under a microscope. Reality is that we don't have any intelligence capacity as a schooling environment. So you don't know who's about to attack who. You can only protect it. And I think the mere fact that it took place outside the school premises, at least it has that indication that within the schooling environment, there are systems to protect this kind of thing. So you need the broader community to assist you to work on these particular matters. But where we are, when an incident of this nature happens, we then quickly go back to our strategies to say, do our strategies work? Do we have to strengthen it? Which areas do we need to strengthen? And how do we deal with those particular matters? So we will do that. But generally, I mean, we've got a program where we are taking problematic learners to stay in a prison for a day, just to interact with prisoners, especially young prisoners, so that they can see the situation in prison. And that has assisted us to really have a number of them withdrawing out of gang-related matters. But if you take this matter, you take the school in El Rado Park, Freedom Park High School, and you take the attitude of learners there, you can see that there is this thing that we need to tackle, and there is this thing that we need to attack, and attack mercilessly, which is gang-related activities within our schooling environment. And be assured, we'll strengthen that approach.
Let me see. What form of action will be taken against all the boys who were involved in secondly, we understand that this has been ongoing for quite some time. Has the school, the SGB, and maybe the community intervened in any way, to your knowledge?
Well, we are going through a process of strengthening the South African Schools Act. And I'm a proponent to say you can't recycle the problem. The current laws says all the learners that did what they've done now, or the learner that have done where this horrendous did, that particular learner must be taken to another school. That's what the law says. They can expel him, but because education is a constitutional right, when you expel the learner, the onus is now on the department and the district to find another school. So we are basically transferring a problem from one school to another school and endangering learners in another school. So we are now in the process of reviewing the South African Schools Act, and our argument is very simple and very strong. These learners must go to rehabilitation first. It's only when they've performed and the report indicates they're in a good mind, it's then that we can take them to another school. But you can't just transfer them to another school, even though we've got programs that they must do. Reality is that we are transferring and recycling the problem. So this political term that we're in now, one of the areas that one wants to strengthen and really work very hard with the national minister is to strengthen this aspect, because we've got lots and lots of learners, especially those that are using drugs and those that are carrying weapons, that you remove them from one school, you are just planting them in another school, and the same situation arises, and you have to remove them from one school and to another school. So you need a very strong rehabilitation program of government where they have to write tests, they have to be checked, and when they are performing very well, that's when they qualify to be placed to another school. So it's an area that I'm very, very passionate about it, and it's an area that will push very, very strong when we review the South African Schools Act.
Was there intervention, especially with the knowledge that this was going on? The school intervened, the LPP or members of the community?
Well, I don't want to play a blame game here. The principal gave me a detailed report of the learner concerns and other learners, and the difficulties that they are facing as a school. This is the kind of intervention that I really believe that we need to pull out. We are quite aware. I mean, I think there are 3 schools around this area. It's Kenilworth, it's the Pupil, that have a similar pattern, that you need to intervene differently from normal intervention in other schools, because the situation is unique. I mean, for example, the school feel that they are not safe where they are, the area where the school is located, that they sometimes feel that if learners are outside the school premises, you have to get all the male teachers to assist you to go and pull the learners outside, purely because they can be attacked and their lives can be at risk. So we need to find a new mechanism on dealing with those kind of things. And I really believe that we'll work them together with the school. We'll find that particular mechanism, and the law enforcement agencies will assist us to deal with those issues.
And the learners and the principal, I live in number 7.
Sure.
Most of the times they are smoking ganja outside. The teachers are outside watching the people drinking alcohol from the taxi vehicle.
Yeah, that's the part that I've raised before you arrived.
And the principal knows what is going on in this area.
And the principal raised that issue with me. Yeah.
Last time was under one step under one. If the principal knows really how we can raise this issue in the community, he's supposed to make sure.
Okay, that's fine. It's okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks. I noted that valuable point.
The media guys.
Do you have any indication of why the 3 learners were seen if they were not registered to write?
Well, as I said, the preliminary information that we have is that they had an altercation over the weekend. So they knew the other learner will be writing today. So they were basically waiting for him outside. And that's what we suspect happened. Because they were not writing, and if they are not writing, if other learners are armed, it's quite clear that they were ready for a fight, and that's the reason why we have to deal with these issues.
Okay, Lindo.
Yes,
MEC, I just want to know, the last time it was Kulani Matebula, and when we asked the question, is it time to put police inside schools, it was a no. But I want to understand, is it time to engage with the Ministry of Police or perhaps the MEC of Police about that matter? What plans do we have to solve this?
Well, immediately after that incident, I met with the police minister. I always refer to him to commissioner. I met with him. There is a security plan that we have with the minister. Check, if the police can give me policemen in each and every school, I'm the happiest person. I won't stop that. What I said is that the budget of education is so minimal. For us to put each and every security guard armed in our schools is going to be very, very difficult. Budget-wise, personnel-wise, skills-wise, and the environment of the police. But areas like this, we really believe we need a cluster approach to work with the police so that they can assist us on some of the things. And they've already done that. I mean, there is a police that we link with directly when the school feel that they're not safe. We can work around those particular issues. But I've met with the minister. I had a session with him. They've assisted us in other cases. They've already arrested some of the perpetrators that have given information. So the police have prioritized education. And that's the part that makes me happy, that at least the police are now taking serious action on activities that are taking place within the schooling environment.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it as the last one. Okay.
The cases that we've opened the case of
all right, that's where we're going to leave it there. The MEC for Education in Gauteng Province, Panyaza Lesufi, there, speaking to members of the media, talking about